right, hi guys.
Hi everyone, we're back.
It's Batu.
I'm Natalia.
And we're Black Ice Podcast.
Back with our next episode.
Yeah, we're really excited. Like, we're still doing this. Like, can you believe it?
I know, I like it. It's fun.
And for you guys who don't know, we are recording this. I'm not sure what day it's coming out, but it is 8/8/2017, aka Tweet Obi Day. So hopefully you guys did tweet like Obi. Did you tweet like Obi today?
I didn't tweet like Obi.
I mean, okay, you still have some time.
I still have time. Yes, but I did not tweet like Obi. Sorry, Obi.
I'm just saying, even the NHL tweeted like Obi Day. Actually, they didn't. They just said they agreed and they like it.
Well, I'm mad at the NHL once again today.
Natalia.
I'm mad at the NHL all the time. So I'm not going to listen to anything they have to say because they made yet another announcement kind of finalizing, closing the door on the athletes and the hockey players playing in the Olympics. Now they extended it to AHL players and minor league players. Anybody who has an active contract in the NHL or the AHL, the minor leagues, cannot play in the Olympics. And it is absolutely infuriating. I'm so mad about this decision. It's not even funny.
And I find it ridiculous that they reinforced this announcement, and then we find out that today is the 25th anniversary of the Dream Team winning in the Olympics. Like, are we serious right now?
All right. I mean, like, it's ironic. It's ironically stupid and so stupid, just flat out stupid all at the same time. There's so many reasons why it's so good that the NHL should have their players play in there. Other than the fact that this happens once every 4 years. They make it sound like this is happening every day. That the players should be in the Olympics. I mean, it's absurd.
And especially given in the U.S., like, it's the NHL. You aren't the NFL or the NBA. You need this American like, you need any reason to pick up a new fan, and what's the perfect place than the Olympics?
Right. I mean, it's so stupid. Like, where the NHL hockey is last in terms of the four major sports.
And not just last, like dead last.
Right. In terms of publicity and anybody knowing who the hell their players are, and then you give them an opportunity on a world stage to have people know who their superstars are, and they're going to take that away from it for no other reason whatsoever but because they're being shady with their dealings and what they want and what they have planned for promoting hockey in China and the next Olympics that are going to be in China.
And that's what sucks the most, like, is that there's not even a great reason for this. Like, this is all bullshit.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. I mean, like, every excuse you hear about people saying that, well, the Olympic Committee doesn't pay the players or the leagues or their teams or owners or whoever for them to participate in it. They don't pay for their medical expenses. They don't pay for anything. I was like, that doesn't happen in the NBA either. You see the NBA now preventing their players from going to play in.
Can you imagine them doing that? Like, the people, the Dream Team. Like, people still talk about that's like the greatest team ever assembled. Can you imagine the NBA taking the stance of the NHL and we not getting to experience the Dream Team?
Right, and it's like, it's such a miss for a hockey fan,
and
even
biggest
just like a budding hockey fan to find out who these guys are. It's such a miss by the NHL, but also there's like, it's just a whole lot of bullshit, quote unquote practical reasons for them not participating in the Olympics. Like, it happens once every 4 years. They make it sound like it happens like every single day.
Like, this is something like, if I don't do it this time, I can do it next time. It's not that simple.
No, and what's upsetting is that the next Winter Olympics that's going to happen is going to be in China. And
which makes your theory even more true that there's a real...
they have their Chinese investors and these companies who are investing in promoting hockey in China right now probably want to have their first big splash of the NHL in Asia in China. They don't want to do it before that happens. Maybe they'll feel like they'll lose momentum or whatever they feel like is the reason why that they want to have China be first. Has nothing to do with any of the quote-unquote practical reasons of the NHL players not being allowed to be in the Olympics. Like, it's just a miss on so many reasons. And you know my best friend Casey, right?
I know her well. I think that's why we know each other.
That is why we know each other.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Casey. And is a humongous diehard Olympics fan. You know that, right?
She got the tattoo.
She's right.
The Olympics on her.
She's a hockey fan, but she's also a humongous Olympics fan, and she was so mad to hear that because now you're gonna be watching the games and not seeing the best players in the world play on the biggest stage in the world.
And I just want to go back to what you said about, you know, picking up new fans. Of course, that's a big thing. So from a marketing standpoint, that's an F. But also, not even just like the new fan, the fan who just knows of their team and their players, but kind of want to know more about the league.
Right.
Like, I'm going to keep it real. 4 years ago, I'm not going to say that I could tell you what TJ Oshie's anything was. Like, I didn't know TJ Oshie like that.
Oh, but now you do, right?
And now all of us do.
Right.
Like, think about it. Like, we didn't even medal, and everybody talked about TJ Oshie being the hero of the NHL and being the hero of the Olympics.
Right.
Because of what he did.
That's a great point. Like, nobody would really know who TJ Oshie was on a national level had he not, you know, been in that crazy shootout and him being on the
Olympic
team.
Pleasure. And what a pleasure.
It's just such yet another thing that the NHL does that they only do for their shady reasons, their money shady reasons whatsoever. It's not promoting the sport. It's not, you know, doing your fans good or doing all Olympic fans or all kinds of hockey fans.
You're doing the world a disservice.
You are.
Like,
It's an extreme disservice.
And then, like, I feel like you were saying this before, like, we started talking, like, they were talking about the time difference. Like, are you kidding me?
Right, but they're going to play in China because that's such a difference of time difference between China and South Korea. I mean, it's such bullshit, and anybody that buys into it, I'm sorry, but...
And if you do, then you know what? I have a piece of land I want to sell you, or whatever that term is that people want to sell you some fake goods. Like,
I'm also the Queen of England, in case
clearly,
you know, in case
Queen
you
Natalia.
didn't know,
like,
I am.
I'm just thinking about like that time difference thing pisses me off even more as an excuse because I just remember 4 years ago, one of my favorite experiences with my NYC Caps crew is on a Friday night, Valentine's Day, we went to sleep early so that we could wake up and meet up at our bar at 7 a.m. to watch it.
I watched the game.
It was the most fun
It was awesome.
ever.
Yeah.
And do I regret going to sleep early to go watch the Olympics? No.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, it's just ridiculous, and like that's how new fans get made during the Olympics. And I remember one of my favorite hockey fan moments of the past 10 years. I'm not really sure if it was favorites, but
Favorite might be a
bit of stretch. More like most memorable was when Canada and the U.S. played in the final. And
I remember
Casey,
that.
my friend, and I went to a bar, and all of a sudden, I met maybe 3 Canadians my whole life at that point. All of a sudden, the bar's full of Canadians.
Of course, out of the woodwork, right?
New York City's Canadians came out of the woodwork and congregated all in one bar, and we were like, what just happened? Canada is in this bar, but it was awesome. Because it was such a dramatic moment. It's when Sidney Crosby won that super memorable goal, whether you hate him or love him. You know, it was a huge moment in hockey. In hockey history, it was a huge moment, and which you will not have if the best players in the world are not playing in the Olympics.
And speaking of that, because I loved the Olympics, I was not a hockey fan then. I remember watching, and I was on Twitter, and I was like, oh my God, USA, we're going to like overtime? Like excited, of course, rooting for USA.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Sidney Crosby scores. I don't know who he is, but I see Twitter going nuts. So I tweet, okay, I'm pissed, Canada won. Why am I upset that this guy scored? My friend immediately tweets me back, this is Tony Romo against your Redskins, game-winning drive, overtime, the game's over. I was like, fuck this dude, I hate him, whoever you are. Like, that was a moment.
That's where the hatred was born.
I mean, that's how I knew that, it was, you know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can reenact where I was there and, like, the things I was saying, but I'll spare everybody
And the fact
this
that
time,
I can, and I wasn't even a hockey fan, let alone an NHL fan. I was not a Caps fan, and I remember what I was doing when that happened.
It was just a great hockey moment in history that now we will not have in this Olympics because Gary Bettman's tiny little weasel self decides he wants to save the NHL this time and whatever money that they would spend and having the players go there and how upset the owners are going to be that their players come back injured or whatever bullshit excuse that he's making up is now we're not going to have it.
And so, let's go back to that. Do you actually think this can work?
What do you mean?
Like, do you actually think this is not going to happen? Because I'm just going to go here, guys. I'm reading on my phone. This is why I love my captain. Speaking of Tweet Like Obi Day, like he said, and I'm just going to quote him. I don't have his accent, so sorry, guys.
I can do it.
I mean, somebody gonna tell me not to go. I don't care. I just go.
Exactly. And I actually, and I've said this before,
Like,
I actually hope that a lot of the guys decide to tell Gary Bettman in the league to go F themselves, and they all go anyway.
So Obi is saying this. I mean,
yeah.
I know he's not the face because that's somebody else, but this is a pretty big name in hockey. I cannot imagine he's the only big name who's saying this or who thinks this. So
I mean, think about it now. Like Connor McDavid's big face, a big new bright star in the league. You really think that Connor McDavid's not going to make the Canadian national team, and he wouldn't
say
love,
no,
and he wouldn't love to play for Team Canada? Like it's so ridiculous. And then you're robbing him of being able to play once he's going to be 4 years older next time.
Right.
He's going to be a young guy, but still, you're robbing somebody of this Olympic experience that they would have otherwise had.
You're robbing us of the experience of possibly seeing him dominate to the point where the NHL might want to decide this guy is ready to take on being the face of the league.
Maybe.
That's a great example you used there. And then I also think, okay, let's say the big names say no. Don't you think, a lesser named Canadian, since there's so many choices of Canadians, that if someone's like, hey, Tom Wilson, you want to play, that he's going to say no, knowing that, okay, all these Canadians who are the ones who are supposed to
say no to playing for their national team.
No,
I don't even
know.
You know what's funny is that the NHL said that playing in the Olympics is a privilege, not a right. You're dictating with somebody who's from another country whether or not they could play for their nation or not. And I understand that their work contract is here in the United States with the NHL, but this is not something that happens every single day.
No.
I really hope that all the players just tell them to go F off and they go anyway.
And I'm very.
And they take whatever suspension, fine.
What are they going to do? Suspend them for the rest of the season?
No.
You let them play in the All-Stars, which to me is far more dangerous than the Olympics, because at least I understand the purpose of Olympics. So if you get hurt, that sucks. But I understand why you would take that risk. But the All-Star, and then you suspend them for games for not playing in the All-Star, but no, they can't go to the Olympics. This is ridiculous.
I mean, they don't really. I mean, they're not too vicious in the All-Star game, but at the same time,
But I'm just saying, somebody could have a freak accident on ice.
they could.
It's just, I just am like, this is ridiculous. I can't imagine. I mean, you said, didn't Malkin also say,
Yeah, there are a few players who said they were going to go. And actually, in terms of what could be coming down the pike for them in terms of penalties, so I read that the teams, for players who wanted to go play in the Olympics, they need to get their team's permission to go and play if they're going to go play now that the NHL has
now that they've
no.
officially said
so
no.
if that happens, Ted Leonsis said he would support his players going.
As he should.
I think he was the most vocal about it. I don't know.
Should.
I didn't hear Dolan say anything about it, as I would suspect that Dolan would not say anything about this. But they could receive, the teams, let's say that happens, the teams could receive $1 million fine as a team fine, and the league could withhold or make them forfeit some of their next draft picks. Now, if a player, they said, defects on their own and they don't get the team's official approval, then they could get suspended and they would get personally fined. But how the hell would the league know?
That's my thing.
That they got an official approval.
I'm like, if you guys are so serious about doing this, you need to be clear as day on what is going to happen, because this sounds like a bunch of, okay, this might be the case for this person versus that person. No, this is ridiculous.
What's funny is I always feel like the NHL set it up so there is some sort of dramatic instance that happens with certain players in the league. Whatever. I mean, it's sickening. The NHL and Gary Bettman sickens me for a lot of reasons.
Do you think if another commissioner said of another sport said something that ridiculous, would they be allowed to come to work the next day and still be the commissioner of the league? Like, what's going on here?
I know. Well, we are talking about the NHL. We are talking about the same commissioner who's probably the shittiest commissioner of all 4 of the major teams. They've had more work stoppages than any other major sports. They had forfeited more games in terms of work strikes and work stoppages than some teams have played in their entire history of expansion. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous that this guy still has his job and he's still allowed to do some of the
And he has created the worst, like, playoff seeding ever.
He's a terrible commissioner.
But this still happens with...
Oh, my plea is, guys, some of you, do me a favor and tell Garrett Bettman to go F off and just go play in the Olympics anyway.
Yeah, my last question about that, do you think Sidney Crosby, like, as it gets closer, will actually say, hey, I am going to go play for Canada?
I hope he does. For once in my life, I'm actually rooting for him. I hope he does. I hope he tells them, I'm going to go play for Team Canada. I know he's already won a couple of gold medals, but
and why would he say no to another one, which you're most likely going to win if you're in Canada? So this is the segment where apparently he had a birthday yesterday. Somebody on Twitter told me. I didn't ask, but I was told. So you'll be lucky when we say one nice thing about him, and I guess we had to share that.
Apparently. Only because you couldn't avoid it on Twitter. Everywhere there's like articles all over the place talking about like...
My goodness, NHL, like show your cards a little better. Like, what are you doing?
Nauseating. I forgot who it was. One of the NHL writers, I retweeted it today, said like Sid the Kid... Like, Sid the Kid is, like, no longer now. It's like Sid the mature adult. I was like, honestly, I'm gonna throw up. Like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm literally gonna throw up right here, right now.
I logged off of Twitter after. I was like, I'm done for the day.
It's nauseating. So I want to ask you, let's divide this up.
Okay.
You take 15, I'll take 15.
Okay.
15 things you would rather either think about or do other than Sidney Crosby's birthday.
Well, I'd rather get my hair wet, and I'm black, and I'd never get my hair wet. So I'd rather do that than talk about Sidney Crosby's birthday.
Okay. Things I would rather do. Watch literally anything. Maybe like paint dry. A paint dry is a good one.
Definitely, yeah. I'd rather watch the Rangers win.
Oh, that's big. That's a big one.
I mean, seriously.
I'd rather go shopping. I mean, I'd rather go shopping most days of the week, but I'd much rather go shopping.
I'd rather wear heels, and we all know I've decided I'm 5'3" and I don't need to prove it to anyone. So I'd rather wear heels than talk about
I'm wearing heels. So maybe I'll say the opposite. I'd rather wear like ugly running shoes, like with a nice outfit, and like go out somewhere. That's what I'd rather do, which never happens.
I'd rather eat scrambled eggs, and most people who know me know that I can't even look at scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs. I'd rather be sleeping.
I'd rather go attempt to play hockey, and I've never ice skated.
I'd rather sit down and watch a full Knicks game from start to finish of them playing the other shittiest team in the league, because you know the Knicks are in the shittiest, and sit there and have to pay attention and watch every single minute than ever have to think about Sidney Crosby.
So if you're on that level, I'd rather watch the Cleveland Browns play the New York Jets.
Oh, that's bad. That's really bad too.
Both of them are fighting to not win a game this year. Yeah. So I'd rather do that than talk about Sidney Crosby.
I'd rather sit down and watch Doc McStuffins with my nieces for like 10 hours in a row than to talk about that. I know what Doc McStuffins is, by the way.
I'd rather us try to sign Kevin Shattenkirk back to our team than talk about Sidney Crosby. I had to get in trolling her. Come on. Easy opportunity.
I'd rather have a full conversation with Glenn Sather about all of the shitty things he's done to the Rangers in the past 2 decades without wanting to, like, act physically murder him than think about Sidney Crosby.
I'd rather listen to Mike Milbury and Pierre Maguire just talk about anything.
They're going to talk about Sidney.
I was going to say,
no!
You don't want to hear Pierre talk about Sidney.
You're right. I'd rather have a Tortorella coach team.
Oh, I would rather have a Tortorella coach team. Come back, Tor. What would I rather do? I would rather sometimes, not all the time, sometimes and see like a sad puppy dog Hank face, which makes me very, very sad, than ever have to see Sidney Crosby's face like be happy or like have a birthday.
Yeah. That's a good one because those are, I'm not even an animal person and those are sad things to see.
I know. A Hank face and a sad puppy dog face is bad.
See, I'd rather consider dating a Flyers fan.
Oof.
That's bad.
Oof.
Can't believe
like-
I just said that.
Oof.
Wow. Wow.
You're gonna get a lot of Flyers fans.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Oh boy, I would rather have to talk to some of my guy friends. Actually, one in particular who's a huge New Jersey Devils fan, and sit there and have to listen to how wonderful Martin Brodeur is than think about Sidney Crosby. And I fucking hate Martin Brodeur.
Good. Oh, okay, so we have 5 more. Thank you, producer. You know what? I'd rather get season tickets for the Islanders when they're back in Nassau and listen to those fans yell anything than talk about Sidney Crosby. And my ears still burn from being there for the playoffs.
That's pretty bad. I would rather ruin my favorite pair of Christian Louboutin heels only because I can buy another one. I cannot get the time back of somebody talking about Sidney Crosby in my life if I have to listen to that again.
I'd rather try to grow the molester stash he had trying to go on during the playoffs than talk about it.
Oh boy.
Oh my, that'd be fun to try.
Oh boy.
This is fun.
Oh, I was just gonna say one, but it'd be a really close tie, and it had something to do with Crystal Tang, so I'm gonna save that.
Yeah, I'm gonna save you because they're gonna tweet you about that.
Oh, I know. I would rather listen to New Jersey Devils fans rip off every single Rangers fan because they're like the most unoriginal human beings ever, and like sit there and have them chant Rangers suck during the same like pot fan sucks type chant.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's irritating.
I'd rather watch 2 Canadian teams play each other on non-HD TV and try to find where the puck is. Because we did that one time. I was like, whoa, I'm not built for this non-HD life.
Let's think of another one I would rather do. There's so many. I feel like there's so many
There's
things.
so many
There's so
things.
many things. Like, I don't know.
We're gonna get to 30 because we have to.
I'd rather watch the 2 desert teams play now, and you know that's not going to be good.
That's
You know that's not going to be great. Arizona and Las Vegas, like when like the novelty of Vegas wears off, and then watch them play. Like
that's a good one. Well, I guess in that case, if I'm staying on the Canadians, I'd rather go to a Justin Bieber concert, and I have no desire to do that.
Oh boy. Oh, if we're gonna go that route, I would rather listen to Taylor Swift for like 4 hours.
Woof.
I fucking hate Taylor Swift.
I'm with you on that. Now my ears are burning.
Yeah.
All right,
One more.
we gotta make
We
this.
gotta end on a high note.
Wow. I think I'm gonna have to go there. I might have to wear your Lundqvist jersey. I'd rather wear your Lundqvist jersey, like publicly.
I would rather. That's big.
And he's the reason that the Caps have not made it out the second round for these years. So that's a big one that I chose Lundqvist. Because I'm not going there with the other one. I'm not even saying his name. So
I knew she was a secret Rangers fan.
no, I'm
but-
not. No. Don't.
I
do it.
would remember those old, like, the really old chalkboards in school. Not the black ones that were like a little smooth, but the ones that were a little grimy. I would rather take my nails
Ooh.
and go like this, up and down.
While listening to Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber. Ooh.
While listening to
that-
Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber and Devils fans saying
and then Islanders, that gave me the chills. See that? So those are the 30 things we'd easily do before talk about Sidney Crosby. So, guys, we love you. Thank you so much. You've been awesome. We love your feedback. Keep giving it to us. You can follow us here, Black
Right
Guys
here,
Podcast
Black Guys.
on Twitter. We love you guys. Kelly, thank you for hosting us, and see you soon.
See you next time. Yeah, they played Croatia in the final. See, we're a tiny little ass country, but we pack a lot of sports.
Well, y'all are tall.
Punch. Oh yeah, we're really tall.
Y'all are built for that.
Yeah. Drazen Petrovic played for the Nets. It was one of my dad's really good friends. He used to tell me when I was little he was going to teach me how to play basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you.
No, he died before that. Yeah, 'cause he died in a car accident. It was it was a big story. Like he was driving in Germany, and his girlfriend was driving at the time, and I think they got rear-ended or something, and they went into the truck in front of him, and the girlfriend and the friend who was in the back seat were totally fine, and because he was asleep in the front seat, he couldn't brace himself, and he was the only one.
He couldn't protect himself. That is.
Do you remember the show Inside the NBA? Mm-hmm. Remember, it was Summer Sanders and what's his name?
Yeah, I know who you're.
The sports announcer. They filmed an episode of that show in my dad's restaurant, and my dad was in it. So they were talking about how they were both. He loved coming to the restaurant because he's Croatian, and he loved being around familiar people from home and stuff like that back from Croatia, whatever.
So they would speak Croatian to each other.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I was little. I remember the day that my dad got the phone call that he was killed in the car accident. Yeah, they had a memorial service for him here. He didn't go to his funeral back in Croatia, but where he's buried in the capital, where he's from, or in the city where he's from, there's always people around, and they always leave flowers for him and stuff like that. He was awesome. Petrovic was awesome.
That's sad. Dying
Steph Curry gave Drazen Petrovic's mom his game-worn jersey after he won his first NBA title, because when Steph Curry was little, it was when Petrovic and Curry's dad used to play together.
Okay.
And Petrovic's mom used to babysit Steph Curry when their dads were playing, and I think it happened in the All-Star game or something they played, and so it was it's very nice to her.
That is fresh.
Yeah, he sent her his jersey.
But they're very close. I mean, I feel that they're very tight knit. Ugh.
Yeah, it was funny. After I heard that, I was like, all right, I like Steph Curry. He's a nice guy.
I like Steph Curry, but then again, I'm like. Why wouldn't I like him? I don't have a rivalry with him. My team ain't getting there.
He also just seems
He also seems like a very nice guy.
a pleasant individual. Just a nice
And his kids seem very joyful, so then the parents must be some type of joyful.
Yeah, they seem just nice, normal people.
And plus, I can respect a championship like that. This is a city star. These people haven't had it in forever. And to be those people to bring it there, I can't get mad at that, because I'm hoping that happens in DC. Somebody needs to put DC on their back, okay, fine. Finally, we'll give it to you again. Kurt's going to do that for me.
We'll see. Maybe.